Imagine a peaceful suburban street. Children play on sidewalks. Neighbors chat over white picket fences. The aroma of grilling burgers fills the air. It's a scene of ordinary life. But behind one front door, a dark secret lurks. A man, now greying and unassuming, waters his prized roses. This seemingly harmless retiree hides a monstrous past. He was once a cog in the Nazi killing machine, responsible for unspeakable atrocities. This is not fiction. It's the unsettling reality of how Nazi war criminals vanished into communities worldwide, their true identities buried beneath years of deception. Their stories are a chilling reminder of the enduring legacy of World War II. Justice remained elusive for many victims. These criminals escaped accountability, blending into new lives as if their past deeds never happened. How did they manage to disappear? How did they evade capture for so long? And what does their impunity say about the world's commitment to justice in the aftermath of unimaginable horrors? As Allied forces closed in on Berlin in April 1945, the Nazi regime crumbled. The city, once a symbol of Nazi power, descended into chaos. Amidst the ruins and despair, high-ranking Nazi officials and SS officers frantically sought escape. They knew what awaited them if captured: war crimes trials and potential execution. Time was running out. Escape became their top priority. They had prepared for this moment, stashing away fortunes and forging documents, their destination countries far from the reach of Allied justice. They relied on a clandestine network of sympathizers, former intelligence agents, and corrupt officials. This network would come to be known as the ratlines. These escape routes would spirit them away to new lives, far from the horrors they had orchestrated. The ratlines were a web of escape routes established by Nazi sympathizers. These routes snaked through Europe and beyond, leading to safe havens for fleeing war criminals. The primary route went south. It led from Germany through Italy and Austria, ultimately reaching ports in Spain, Portugal, and Italy. From these ports, ships departed for South America, a continent known for its lax immigration policies and tolerance for harboring fugitives. The ratlines were facilitated by a shadowy network of individuals and organizations. Some were motivated by ideology, believing in the Nazi cause even in defeat. Others were driven by profit, willing to aid the enemy for the right price. Whatever their motives, their actions had profound consequences, allowing countless war criminals to escape accountability. Argentina became a prime destination for fleeing Nazis. The country had a history of welcoming European immigrants. Its government, under Juan Perón, was sympathetic to the Nazi cause. Perón saw the Nazis as valuable assets, possessing skills and knowledge that could benefit his regime. He opened Argentina's doors to them, providing refuge and protection from extradition. But Argentina was not the only destination. Brazil, Chile, Paraguay, and other South American countries also became havens for Nazis on the run. The United States, despite its role in defeating Nazi Germany, also unwittingly harbored some war criminals. Driven by Cold War anxieties, the US government sometimes prioritized acquiring Nazi expertise over pursuing justice for war crimes. Section 5. The Butcher of Lyon, Klaus Barbie. One notorious Nazi who escaped justice was Klaus Barbie, known as the Butcher of Lyon. Barbie was the Gestapo chief in Lyon, France during the war. He was responsible for the torture and deaths of thousands of people, including children. After the war, Barbie escaped to South America with the help of the ratlines. He settled in Bolivia, where he lived under an assumed identity for decades. Barbie even advised the Bolivian government on security matters, putting his expertise in repression to use in his new home. His past eventually caught up with him in 1983. He was extradited to France, where he stood trial for crimes against humanity. Barbie was convicted and sentenced to life in prison, where he died in 1991. Section 6. The Angel of Death, Josef Mengele. Josef Mengele, the Angel of Death of Auschwitz, was another prominent Nazi who evaded capture for years. Mengele conducted horrific medical experiments on prisoners at Auschwitz, particularly targeting twins. He escaped to South America after the war, eventually settling in Brazil. Mengele lived a relatively comfortable life in hiding. He benefited from the support of Nazi sympathizers and the reluctance of authorities to pursue him aggressively. Mengele drowned in a swimming accident in 1979. His true identity remained a secret for several years after his death. The discovery of his remains and the confirmation of his identity sent shockwaves through the world. It served as a stark reminder that even the most notorious criminals could live undetected for decades. Section 7. Operation Paperclip, Nazi Scientists in America. After the war, the United States and the Soviet Union engaged in a fierce competition for technological and scientific supremacy. As part of this effort, the US government initiated Operation Paperclip. This program secretly brought over 1,600 German scientists, engineers, and technicians to the United States. While many of these individuals were not accused of war crimes, some had been involved in the Nazi war effort. They had contributed to the development of weapons and technologies used against Allied forces. The US government justified their recruitment by arguing that their expertise was crucial to winning the Cold War. However, the ethical implications of providing safe haven to individuals complicit in Nazi crimes remain a subject of debate. Living lies assumed identities and hidden pasts. To blend into their new lives, fleeing Nazis often assumed new identities. They adopted aliases, created false backstories, and destroyed any documents linking them to their past crimes. They started families, built careers, and presented themselves as upstanding citizens. Their neighbors, colleagues, and even their own families remained oblivious to their true identities. This deception was often maintained for decades. It was only through the tireless work of Nazi hunters, investigative journalists, and determined individuals that the truth eventually emerged. These revelations shattered the illusion of normalcy. They forced communities to confront the uncomfortable reality that they had unknowingly harbored individuals responsible for unspeakable acts of cruelty. Justice delayed, the search for war criminals. The search for Nazi war criminals became a global pursuit. Organizations like the Simon Wiesenthal Center dedicated themselves to tracking down these fugitives and bringing them to justice. Nazi hunters scoured the globe. They followed trails of documents, interviewed witnesses, and pursued every lead, no matter how faint. Their work was often met with resistance. Some governments were reluctant to cooperate, fearing the exposure of their own complicity in harboring war criminals. Others argued that too much time had passed and that pursuing justice after so many years was futile. Despite these obstacles, the pursuit of justice continued. It served as a testament to the enduring power of memory and the unwavering commitment to hold perpetrators accountable for their crimes. The weight of silence. The silence surrounding the presence of Nazi war criminals in communities worldwide had a profound impact. For survivors of the Holocaust and other Nazi atrocities, it was a painful reminder that justice remained elusive. It compounded the trauma they had endured. It forced them to confront the reality that those responsible for their suffering were living freely, their crimes unpunished. For communities that unknowingly harbored these criminals, the revelations were deeply unsettling. They shattered the illusion of normalcy. They raised questions about trust, complicity, and the dark undercurrents that can exist even in the most seemingly peaceful places. The weight of silence, of secrets kept and truths buried, cast a long shadow over these communities. Remembering the past, confronting the future, the stories of Nazi war criminals who escaped justice serve as a stark reminder of the enduring legacy of the Holocaust and World War II. They highlight the importance of remembrance, accountability, and the pursuit of justice, no matter how much time has passed. They also remind us that evil can lurk in unexpected places, hidden beneath a veneer of normalcy. By confronting the past, by uncovering the truth about these criminals and their escapes, we honor the memory of their victims. We reaffirm our commitment to justice and human rights. We acknowledge the long-lasting impact of these crimes on individuals, communities, and the world as a whole. And we recognize the importance of vigilance in ensuring that such atrocities are never repeated.